Simple Rethink presents 3 unpleasant situations in life that aren't your fault. The never-ending trial of adulthood is that our choices and actions are both a learning process and an ever-evolving experiment with indeterminate outcomes. We do not govern the universe, and neither are we the author of chance or even our stars. According to Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. When things go against your expectation, the re-examination of your choices can often suggest it was your fault. In this video, we will look at 3 unpleasant situations in life that aren't your fault, and together we will rethink the reasons why you must not take the blame. This will interest you. Let's dive in. A broken heart. There are few expectations greater than the hope we place on another human being when we fall in love. The faith that someone, as fragile and conflicted as we are, will possess the strength, the patience, and the goodwill to make you happy and to keep you happy can be rewarded with immeasurable joy. But when that love turns sour, the pain can feel like a self-inflicted wound. Perhaps it was why Shakespeare once said that expectation is the root of all heartache. After a heartbreak, the pain and disbelief that someone once saintly could hurt you so deeply sets off an inquest to identify the cause of the misfortune. But the post-mortem should not dwell on the reasons they failed you. We are human. Failing one another is woven into our nature. Parents fail their children, children disappoint their parents, and lovers forsake each other in ways no one could have foreseen. This is how you console yourself. You offered your heart to what you felt. You acted on what you knew at the time, and there was so much you did not know. You did not choose wrongly, but simply entered an agreement with another imperfect soul. You were not foolish to believe in love. You could only keep your own end of the bargain. Instead of lamenting how you could have done things differently, give yourself the grace to accept that the course of love is never in one person's control. If death is the fate of the living, then a broken heart is simply the price we pay for love. Even the wisest minds cannot predict who is capable of causing a wound, or when tenderness might turn into carelessness. The pain of a broken heart is not a punishment for your mistake, but merely the toll love collects for making life meaningful. But here is the warning. A broken heart is not like a virus that may grant immunity after a first infection. It is not a one-time visitor and can return whenever the universe rearranges itself against you. And because the odds are not in your favor, you must not grieve too long. There may be more heartbreaks ahead. So, your task should be simple: bandage the whole wound and wait for healing to complete its course. The ache will pass. It always does. The end of a good friendship. A wise person once said that if a single lifetime is blessed with 3 good friends, then it is a life well lived. This is because friendship is one of the deepest forms of human connection, but it is also, sadly, one of the most routinely disappointing realities of life. A good friendship is sustained by regular presence, shared activities, familiar rituals, and aligned principles. But when friends drift apart, whether in geography, career, or ideology, their exposure to separate experiences and the influence of new environments can shift their emotional landscapes into new versions of themselves, which can make them less essential to each other. When regular presence is replaced by constant absence, a connection that once felt effortless begins to require intention. Infrequent contact, long silences, or the separation that comes from pursuing different paths can make a friend who was once a steady guide begin to feel like a second thought, not because of conflict or the absence of love, but from the evolution of personal differences. This is how you must accept this change. Like a beloved teacher, a friend can guide us carefully through one stage of life, helping us become someone new and better, yet still not be the companion we require for the next phase of our journey. Their insight, patience, and presence may have steadied us and supported our growth, but perhaps because of that very growth, we no longer need them in the same way. This reality isn't coldness. It is simply how human relationship evolves. To outgrow a friendship is not betrayal, and you are not a villain for that outcome. To be the outgrown friend is not abandonment, and it does not make you unworthy of friendship. Time gives as it takes. It places people in our lives precisely when we need them, and sometimes gently removes them when their chapter has done its work. The end of a good friendship can leave one person feeling guilt and the other disappointment. But this is the truth. Life is moving forward, and not everyone will come along. And like life itself, friendship is mortal. One day it may no longer be present. When that time comes, remember that friendship is never a lifelong contract, but a meaningful chapter in your story, and some chapters must end. And that ending is nobody's fault. Unrequited love. There are few pains that cut as deeply as the realization that the person we love does not and may never love us back. It is a wound made not of rejection alone, but of imbalance, where one heart beats loudly with devotion while the other remains silent. Unrequited love is a chosen sadness. It's a lingering ache carried willingly, an emptiness of giving without receiving, and the hopelessness of waiting for a door that will never open. We cling to unrequited love because the alternative of our temporary aloneness feels unbearable. And when the task of searching for another person feels exhausting, uncertain, even unthinkable, we may choose to turn to the counsel of hope that fortune will shift in our favor. Yet it is the misalignment of that hope with reality that becomes the prison of our own making. But this aching is not the love you hope to find, because the love you truly desire is the one that makes you happy, not confused and sad. You dreamed of a love that is cherished and reciprocal, not a love that rejects all of your affection. The person you pine over, the one you place on the pedestal of your heart, is simply another ordinary soul, likely avoided by others, dismissed by many, and far less exceptional than your adoration makes them seem. You only know what you dream of them and how you hope they will make you feel. But deeper knowledge of who they are may reveal they were never as glorious as you imagined and were never worthy of your suffering. Here is your path to healing. Strive to fully know the person you're pining over, who they truly are, and not the love you're hoping they would offer. And when you view them through the quiet truth of your own heart, you may realize you were never reaching for an angel, but for another human being who may be broken, lost, and searching for their own wholeness. This is why you should never blame yourself. Unrequited love does not mean you were unworthy of love. It simply means you misdirected your hope. And hope, when redirected, will lead you to the love you deserve. If any part of this discourse made you rethink, it means you like this video. Give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell and be among the first to watch our next video. Thank you and goodbye.